So my name is Juliet Gateri. I run a HR and recruitment firm called Alternate Doors Consulting, and I've been doing it for 13 years now. I'm also a licensed clinical psychologist. So that's a bit about me. So my work for today is a few minutes to talk about crafting your career narrative and how to stand out in today's job market. So currently in Kenya, I'll just tell you the truth from a recruiter's perspective. I can't compare 2025 to 2015. The job market is getting tougher and tougher, both on the you applying for jobs and also for us as employers. So the job market is getting tougher, but I will say the job market is not unfair. It's only unfair to those who don't put in the work. So now, since I've noticed some of you already have another degree and then you've taken up this Teki course, so you've done at least 30% of the work. So the certificate, what I've noticed mostly with the graduates, they feel the certificate will do for you the work. So some people will even go and do PhD, and then you come to Juliet, you give me the certificate, and expect the certificate to do the work. So you've only done 30% of the work. So what we are looking for now is to move to 100%. So the next is 20%, which is the job search. And if I'm talking about the market, because I started the business in 2013, if I compare how 2013 was and now, even 2015 and now, things are quite different. So previously you'd find somebody would be in the job market for 8 months looking for a job. Right now, it might even take you 2 years. I've talked about the two people in this transaction. So in terms of the people who are looking for jobs, what I've noticed, everybody wants to work for only 20% of the companies that are in the country. Okay, I can even do a poll right now. Who wants to work for Safaricom? The graduates. And everyone else. Who wants to work for Safaricom? Okay, fine. Who wants to work for a nail salon in town, doing content? No one. You see? So there's a problem. So everybody wants to work for Safaricom. 1,000 of us, let's say all the graduates in the country, like 3 or 4 million of us, we all want to go to Safaricom or EABL, and then you say there are no jobs. And for me, as Alternate Doors, we work with different companies, but most of our companies are SMEs. That's where a lot of money is, and it's 80% of the Kenya's economy. So if we ignore that segment, then you'll be job searching for 5 years. So you're 25 now, and at 30, you're still doing job searching. So there's a problem somewhere. So as you continue to craft your narrative, Safaricom will notice you if you are the best at what you're doing. So for example, if you're looking for more of an experienced role, because right now if you're applying for a digital associate role at Safaricom or EABL, there'll be 1,000 of you. So the best of the best are the ones who are going to stand out. But there are some of us who are, not all of us who are index 1, so there are some of us who are in the middle, so where do we end up? Where do we go? So nobody wants to work for a nail salon in town as a content creator. That's what I've gotten. So that's what I've gotten. So the 20%, you may take you 2 years to get to the 20%. So I'll give you a few life hacks. I have a couple of clients so the landscape is also changing. So you'd find a company that used to hire like 20 salespeople. They've reduced their salespeople to, let's say, 5, and the rest of the team is a very aggressive digital team. So I have a client who's in the construction company. We have people, specifically, just your work is to do content. Shoot content, go to sites, take pictures, take videos. That's your only work. So your work is only content creation. So you, with your Teki certificate, will Safaricom hire you for content or they go to an agency? So who's likely to hire you? An SME, right? Yeah, and we're not putting ourselves out there for SMEs to hire us. I remember that role, we really looked for people Even currently, as I finish, once I conclude, I'll tell you the positions we have in digital, and you can choose. You can wait for 5 years for Safaricom, or you can come to Juliet and alternate doors, and I'll sort you out. So I have other clients as well, who are, I've talked about the sales team. So what they're also doing is, somebody mentioned about TikTok. So people are opening TikTok shops to sell their products, and they're looking for people who can be able to do, such type of content. So somebody like me, I will not be there full time selling a product, but we need somebody who is vibrant enough and understands how the platform work, how the platforms work. So their opportunities are many, and in digital, people really don't understand until you show value. And for any business, the way you show value is money coming in. So for example, if you are to do a post, and that's always, even for me as a business, I've had very negative experiences with digital teams, because you want to do a post, but what will that post do? Will it bring me money? Why am I paying you this amount of money for you to just post things? So you need to translate it to more value. So we've done 30%, we've done, good job. Next is the 20%, and for the 20%, my advice for you is open up your mind. I know when you are graduating, we always have these airs that we want to work for these companies. When you work for smaller companies, you feel like you have failed. You have not failed, you are just you are building your story, you are building your narrative in your career. Then we go to the other percentage, the 50%. So the 50% is where we struggle a lot as employers on this other side. So we want to give you a job, but there are some things we are experiencing in the workplace that we would rather do away with a digital team. So for example, I'll give you my personal experience. So for me as a business, I run a fully 100% remote company. But now, the freedom that you're given when you're working for a remote company, you feel like it's a holiday. So work starts at 8. We are supposed to do a stand-up meeting at 8. You don't show up. So for you, I always wonder, you are 23, 24. Why are you always sick? Like, why are you always sick every day? So that's the question I always wonder. So you're sick today. So that's the struggle employers are having. So it's the consistency and showing up. Even interviews, people don't show up. Even now, I'll give you my email address, and I will call some people for interviews, and I'm telling you for sure, 80% will not show up for interviews. Because you'll Google the company, see it's a small company, and then, I'm going to go. Or you did something the previous night, so you're not in the right, you have a headache, The headache. So the 50% is where we struggle a lot. Consistency and showing up. And sometimes people will lie to you that the more talented you are, the more the opportunities will come to you. Sometimes it's just the consistency and the reliability. For me, I want you to show up. You show me you'll show up today, you'll be consistent. If it's learning, we'll hire somebody to teach you how to do certain things. But as long as you're reliable, you're freeing me as an employer time that I can go and do business development. But I'm there sitting down. Even for me, I wake up every day because LinkedIn is my biggest source of leads. And for leads, both for candidates and for employers. So I had handed over my LinkedIn to somebody else, but it ended up being very chaotic. But because it's my goal, it's my source, I have to wake up every day before I start anything. I think we were asked a question, what do you do every day when you wake up? For me, I do LinkedIn. So I wake up, I post something, sometimes I schedule, but sometimes I make sure every morning I post something for today and for tomorrow. So right now, since we are moving digital, and even for my clients, the biggest struggle has been with graphic designers, I can tell you that for sure. The videographers, photographers have been, maybe they have some sort of discipline. They've been quite consistent. And social media managers or coordinators. So that one has been the biggest problem with all of my, 100% of my clients, including me as Juliet. So, and I've told you where the problem is. So it's on the consistency and reliability and you showing up. So we are building our narrative. So if you come to Juliet today, you work for me 3 months, you go to another company another 3 months. I know we are told to explore our talents, especially when we are in our 20s, which is okay, but it's a story that you're building for yourself. So can you imagine that CV? You're 30 and now you want to now go to a stable company or a company that is more established, but your story, your CV tells a story of your inconsistencies. So you're here 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. So it doesn't, I mean, what are you telling us? So those are the 50% is where the biggest problem is. I've mentioned the nail salon, nobody has raised their hand. So I think there are some monies that have been thrown around, I think 50, 60, maybe let me do a poll again. So for your first job, let me just, how much would you want to earn? So I have option A, 30 to 60. Option B, 100 to 200. Option C, 300K. So option 1, your first job or a job right now, 30 to 60. Okay, 100 to 200. 300 and above. Okay. If it's 300, you better be bringing me 3 million per month with your digital skills, because we do times 10. So if I'm paying you 30, 300. So if you don't want, for the nail salon, I'll give you, I had a client in the beauty sector. I've had clients in the beauty sector. So one, a high-end spa, I think they also did cosmetic surgery, and then a nail spa as well in town. And both in the beauty industry. So they wanted somebody to do content creation for them and manage social media. So if you go to our company and you just sit down, you make your 30K, I want to give you now some ideas. So there's that option of making 30 to 60K. But can you imagine if I give you all these 3 clients of mine and they all pay you 30K or 40K per month for you to come specific days to do content and social media management. So you come, you plan, I'll do content for this week, and then I'll work from home, I'll do posting, I'll do boosting, somebody talked about that. So if it's 4 clients paying you 30, that's already 120K. And you don't want to work for smaller companies. So I'm just giving you, so you can become a fractional employee. So you're not with me full time. I also don't want you to be with me full time, because there's that process of managing you. So if you can self-manage yourself, it will be easier for me as a business owner. Because for small businesses, I think you've heard, when somebody's running a small business, they do a lot of things. So they're the ones who are doing so many decisions. So if you eliminate that item from my end, then, I'll pay you for your value. So by the time you even give me your rate card, you really have to show me what value are you bringing. So the other thing, as you build your narrative, one, you have to build your digital presence and a professional digital presence. I know we do, pictures like this event, we've graduated, but I would want to challenge you, put yourself out there, especially on LinkedIn where professional circles are. And that's where I'll see you. I'll see your work on LinkedIn. You'll have your portfolio there. So build your digital presence. You can even start with 1 follower as you grow. So there's digital. I don't know whether TikTok you can get any leads, but for quality jobs and quality businesses, if you want to work as a consultant, I would recommend you use LinkedIn to build your digital presence. Then talk about your work. Today I'm here. I don't know, maybe we'll have a break, but I am 90% sure nobody will come and say hi to me. I am 90% sure. I've been into these events, so I know what happened. I don't know whether it's fear or it's, I don't know. And then continue pitching. So continue pitching. So if you see a small, you can specialize as a content creator or a digital or a social media person for a certain segments, for a certain niche. So you just say, me, I just do nail salons. I am specialized in nail salons, or I'm specialized in restaurants. So people know you for that. And trust me, as you build your story, people will know, for me, I do, like, you know, there are photographers who only do weddings. So they are known to do weddings only. So please don't, your mindset should be wide enough for you to only not think of working for the 20%, which is good and admirable and ambitious, but also think of other things you can be able to do. And at the end of the day, small businesses want value, like they want value out of it. And I've told you, for me, you can be the worst graphic designer, but we will try sort. So you just need to show up, and you'll be consistent. And most employers, that's what they're looking for. So as I close, yes, we have a lot of digital roles. So we are currently looking for a social media coordinator, and but there are no experience required. We just want to see your portfolio. Videographer, photographer, of course, we want to see your portfolio as well. And then we are looking for a digital, I don't know what my client called it, but they want some sort of like a community manager, and also reaching out to people online. So it's like, I don't know whether it's an e-commerce, but it's a digital role. And one of my clients also want to open up a TikTok shop, so somebody can be talking about their products online. Yes, so those are most of the popular jobs that I get. I think media buying and search engine optimization. I'm not sure whether you studied that in the course, but I'm happy to discuss if you have those skills. So I think that's the end of my advice and life hack. I don't know whether I'm supposed to take in any questions. Or
maybe one burning one very burning question for Juliet. There we go.
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Shadrach, a recent graduate from JQuad. So my question is about something you mentioned about graphics designers. You said you have a problem. So I wanted to know the problem, because I'm a designer, graphics designer. Maybe I might be having the same problem. So what's the problem?
Okay. There's a Gen Z narrative there, okay, which is 80% right. Okay, I'm also talking as a psychologist. We have a very big problem with the boy child. I'll tell you for sure. And I'm happy to see there's a gender balance here. But most of these courses, events, you'll find 90% of them are women. So with graphic designers, I think for ladies, I've only met one. Currently, I think I'm interviewing one. And there's another one we placed with our client. But most of the graphic designers for me, the ones I've interacted with are men. So the biggest problem is the 50% I've talked about, the workplace. So that you're so talented. So first of all, you are not reliable. You don't show up on time in terms of work. You don't meet deadlines. And then there's some sort of, I don't know whether it's in the creative industry, there's some sort of arrogance. You see, for me, Juliet, I'm HR. I don't know anything about creativity. But me, I want this picture to look like this. But you're advising me it needs to look like, no, me, I want it to look like this. So there's some sort of arrogance, and the way you communicate, you can advise me and tell me these colors don't work. So the way you communicate also brings an issue. So you'll find most people would rather outsource that function, but essentially the business needs a full-time graphic person. But as an employer, I'm not your parent. I don't want to deal with, calling you, babying you. I don't want to do that. So there's a huge problem, especially with the boy child.
All right, thank you very much. A round of applause for Juliet.